Network is brought to you, sponsored and powered by RCCG, the New House. And it's a platform where we get to talk, where you get to ask all of those burning questions. So picture this. In life's journey, everyone has questions on what to do, questions regarding finance, relationship, life in general. And typically, some people may be scared or afraid to ask those questions, probably because they feel like, oh, this question is so small. But it's actually a burning question for them. Some may feel like they do not have a safe space where they can ask these questions without feeling judged, while others may not have the right persons to ask these questions to and be able to rely on the answers that they would get. That is why we have Let's Talk. Let's Talk is where you get to ask real-life questions and have it answered by real-life people. My name is Ufoma Adeyinka Jones, and I will be our host for today. Our guest is already here, and I'm sure we are waiting to meet him. He's none other than PGT. Now, if you're a member of RCCG, the New House, or you follow us on any of our social media platforms, you would know PGT. He's the lead pastor of RCCG, the New House. However, he is so much more. He's a father. No, he's a husband. Mm-hmm. Number one, he's a husband. He's a father, he's a mentor, he's a serial businessman, and a coach to a lot of persons. At RCCG, the New House is our guy. Hi, PGT. Good evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me for the second.
Of course, it's our pleasure. PGT comes with so much experience, wealth of wisdom, and he's not just going to be talking to us today, answering all of our questions based on his experience, but he's going to be balancing it with the Word of God. Right? So if you're looking to have those honest conversations, those hard truths told to you, I'm sure you've sent your questions already, and we'll try to take them, all of your questions, as much as we can within this time frame. Welcome once again, PGT.
Thank you.
Can we talk?
I'll try my best.
Oh.
I'm sure I feel this is hot. It's hot.
No. You're not on the spot. You're not on the spot. So I guess we'll get right into it. So Let's talk, right? All right. So we have certain questions here already. And we're going to start with this. This person says, here at Let's Talk, you can come under an alias, your real name, a fake name, whatever. It's just, our goal here is just to ensure that you get the answers to your questions. So we do not really care about your identity, right? We just want to answer your questions. And this person is Mimi and is asking, why am I not lucky with my relationship? Now, I'm trying to understand this person's perspective, and I think there are some people that feel like whatever relationship they get to with the intent of getting married, it just never gets there. While there are some persons that feel like everybody around them tell them they're such a wonderful person, but they never really get into a relationship. Nobody really takes them seriously or catches their fancy for them to be lucky to be in a relationship. So I don't know if you can answer the question based on these two perspectives, sir.
Okay, I think the first thing is the point of luck. I don't think relationship comes by luck. And I don't think it's about being lucky or not lucky. Relationship is something that you prepare for. And the key in relationship is not just for you, it's for the person. You must get to a place where you know and you discover that you are a blessing. So when you're coming to a relationship, you're not coming because you need someone. You have something to offer and to give. Okay. That's why if I want to switch to biblical illustration, you see that when God created Adam, God engaged him first. Gave him work to do. So it was already, I told him, clear all this grass, make this place clean. So he was already on his mission. It was once he was on his mission that God spoke to him that you need help. So the help was not to fulfill his mission because he was already going somewhere. And when God said, I'm giving you someone, he said, I'm giving you a helpmate, which means the person coming is coming to add to what you're doing and to help you. So you must get to a place where you know that I'm a blessing. if you're talking from perspective of a guy or a lady, I don't want us to make it a gender something. So a guy can feel unlucky also. A guy can feel like maybe I'm not getting the best person. Same thing, a lady too can feel I'm not getting the best person. But the moment you're entering a relationship and I have something to offer, I have something I'm giving, then you're not just going to grab, you're going to give. And at that point in time, if you're giving, no one will lose an asset. Make yourself an asset. Something just comes to mind some years back, quite a while ago. I think I was traveling. I was coming to Lagos from Ondo State, and it was early in the morning. It now fell on an Holy Ghost service day, very long time ago. So there was traffic, and I was passing through the Holy Ghost. I wasn't redeemed then. So I was driving past the Holy Ghost. I just saw a particular lady. She was just tired. I guess she was in camp. She had finished, and there was traffic that time. It was a very bad time. Yeah. So I stopped and I picked her. I said, "Where are you going?" She said she was going down the same express road. So she entered. I asked her, "How was the Holy Ghost service?" She told me, but she was always looking so down. I said, "What's wrong with you?" She came up with relationship that she'd been praying, been going to the place, and and that when will it happen for her and all that. So I asked her, I said, "What do you want in a man?" So she told me all the things she wants and said all those things. And I said to her, the moment you can be an asset, they'll come looking for you. Be an asset. No one will leave you.
Be an asset. No one will leave you. So I hear you say self-awareness. You have to understand and see yourself as a blessing. And if you've recognized that probably you haven't worked on yourself, then you have to start improving yourself so that everyone around you will see you as someone who's valuable, as an asset.
Yeah. Come out of self-pity.
Okay.
Come out from being a victim. Okay. You're not a victim. You're not forcing yourself on someone. You're a blessing.
True.
And it tells. Okay. One thing about a relationship is that a guy, let me speak from a guy's
perspective, yeah.
A guy wants a lady that makes him feel some weight.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Feel some weight. So which means that he must see you as someone that is adding to him and someone that is bringing some level of confidence to him.
Okay.
Now, for him to feel that, you are the one that will give it to him. You are the one that will make him
feel that way.
He is, and that comes from your own perspective and view of yourself.
True.
So if he meets you and you the way you speak to yourself, the way you look at yourself, the way you treat yourself, he can see some level of self-value. He feeds from that from you. And he says, my babe,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it is, it could be the way you talk, it could be your ideas, it could be your vision, it could be how you dress, it could be anything. It's not just one way. Whatever it is that is to you is your strength. Push it out.
Okay. Play to your strength. And you're not a victim, right? So PGT has spoken about self-awareness. Understand and recognize that you are a blessing, right? And begin to work on yourself, to improve on yourself, and then project your strengths, right? Thank you so much, PGT, for that. So on that, we have another question here from someone who says his name is Leke. Leke
is not lazy.
Leke is not. Okay, he said, should you marry someone who only said yes because they couldn't get their first choice? So, so I'm saying this question, I'm thinking, so maybe it's a guy. Let's look at it from a guy's perspective. And, he knows that there was probably this person that this lady was waiting for. And probably that person has moved on or is not available. You know when they say is it the available to become the needed or something like that, right? So what do you go ahead with someone knowing that you were the only option at the time, that was why they said yes, or it was because you were available, that was why they said yes to you? And how do you see the dynamics of such a relationship playing out?
I think if I was the guy, I would first shout, "Praise the Lord!"
Are you serious?
I mean,
really?
Yes, your prayer is the answer.
You don't feel any?
Oh, why?
You don't feel any type of way?
God removed your opposition from you.
Really? I would think that your first reaction would be like, oh, I'm the second thought, I'm the afterthought.
See, all those aspects, it is in line with the first question you asked.
Mm-hmm.
Is always from the mind and is a personal thing.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with what's going on. You know, that thought is not because it failed and it came to you. You should be rejoicing.
Okay.
Whatever happened and made it come to you is a blessing.
Okay.
But if you begin to see it as if, oh, that means maybe I'm not the first choice.
Yes.
I'm not good enough. Oh, I'm a second hand. Oh, this one. Oh, that one. That is in your mind because the person is not even thinking about that. Probably when you get into the relationship, person say, wow, I was a fool. Why did I see all this? Why? I thought I made it. You don't know what's going on in her mind. And instead of you to, give it your best and enjoy.
And show you that, I was actually the one you should have waited for.
Yeah, it's like they say something, they say, your glass is either half empty or half full. So it's just how you see things.
Yeah.
You should have one to say, I will show you, can you compare this one with the, say, I'm sorry, I showed you are the best.
Yeah.
I think that's the way I see it.
Okay, we've looked at it now, let's say from the man's perspective, like this. So what about a lady who knows that in her heart of hearts, probably physically, financially, spiritually, this is not someone that he would not have been her first choice. Whether she prayed or not about it and the Holy Spirit said, okay, this is your husband, or she just looked at stuff and said, this guy is actually loving, he's caring, he's nice. It's just not the one that my heart went to first of all. And how does that person begin to cope with that and make the best of that relationship, especially when the person that she has now, quote and unquote, settled for is a great person?
Is it what?
Is a great person. Because sometimes you see this play out and you find that the person's eyes is also outside, thinking that, okay, maybe there'll be somebody else like that, right? So how do you get to that point where it's not looking like you have settled, you have judged this person by the standard and metrics, it's just not the person that you would have chosen first, right? Probably the person that you would have chosen first broke your heart or is not interested in you. And you then said, okay, who's available? Okay, this is a great guy and I want to be with this person. So how does that person come to that point of commitment and contentment to accept that person as now their first choice?
For me, relationship is dynamic, and no one ever knows the best. You only think that you know the best. You see, it's until you are in it and you've been in the journey, then you now be able to look back and say, wow, what a blessing I've found myself. That's why sometimes when you weep over a heartbreak, a disappointment, and all that, mostly is because you don't have the full picture. And having that at the back of your mind, now, if you're a Christian, the Bible says all things work together for good for them that love the Lord. So, is everything working around for your good? In your heart, the kind of spec you like is this, and you didn't get that. Mm-hmm. Now, this is who you've been given.
Yes.
Now, you have two things to do. Either work on it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're a leader, you like guys that are fashionable, or you like a leader is fashionable, and she's not that fashionable. Do you get? And you just like her, like girls with long hair,
yes,
golden color,
mm-hmm.
and the one you met, she doesn't mind low cut and just can even run out without doing makeup.
Yeah.
So all you need to do is that with love, you understand, buy her the kind of wig you want her to do.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
One of the things you do, let me take her on a treat, take her just for pedicure, manicures. The things that you want, or you travel, you go somewhere, you say a dress, or someone say a lady that wears a nice dress and you like it on her, ask them where did you get it from and order it for her. So you can actually, walk through with your spouse and have a kind of transition. And by the other side, by the time you get there, you'll be amazed that, oh wow, what's happening here? And that's how it works. Something happened in our home some weeks back. In our home, I'm always very how do I say it? I remember things. I pick things easily. I can know that they've moved this from here. Here, I'm that kind of person. So my wife just she's not nothing. He say, hey, oh sorry. And something happened in the house, and I did not take note of it. And she comes in and tells me, something like this has happened. I say, how do you know that? I say, she showed this me. She showed, and as all that picture was going on, I would see myself. Yeah. I'm the one that does that.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Not her.
Yes.
And so I realized that part of me as,
it's half and half now.
It's not half and half. And I cannot acknowledge that truly she's the one seeing what I couldn't see.
Yes.
Exactly. So, you see, the more you spend time with someone and you pour yourself, before you know it, both of you become one. So, just the one that didn't work, leave it behind. This is what you have is better. You have not seen it, but it's better. So all you need to do is to begin to work on it, work on your guy, work on your babe, and the next thing you see, people want to say, man, you're a lucky girl.
True.
And that's how it works.
True. Thank you so much, PGT. I think some things you said from this last question were very profound. Everything is really about mindsets. I never would have seen it. My first reaction would be like, the person would be feeling self-pity, feeling like they're not good enough. But another way to look at it is like, whoa, this is what I want.
Yeah.
I have it now. Whatever pushed that other person.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. I see that now. So everything's about perspective, and not just only in relationships, in life, in general as well. So Leke, you have the answer to your question. You should go and do Thanksgiving. So we have another question here from V. Yes. He said, I have a friend. There are many people that ask questions. Some people, they have people that have come to them, with questions, and they feel like they cannot give the answer. So he says, I'm asking for myself, but I don't want to say it to myself.
It's allowed.
It's okay. It's fine. He said, I have a friend who wants to get married, and she's imposing it on the man. He doesn't appear to be saying anything or saying no, but how do I tell her to let him make the moves himself? So I'm seeing things from this friend's perspective, or from this perspective. So as a lady who waited a while to get married, there are stories you hear, whether from your parents, your elder sisters, people older than you, and they say, see, this whole thing of getting married is a game. There's a way you play your cards, and you will lead and guide the man to making that decision, especially for someone who is stalling, right? I have had that told to me, that there's a way you would guide him. There's a way, ladies, we are powerful. There's a way you would do it and do it and do it. While some will tell you, outrightly, if you've been with someone for a reasonable amount of time and they don't seem to be bringing up the marriage question, speak to them blatantly. So there was a colleague of mine who said his wife actually, after they had dated for about 8 months, she was 26 at the time. He was working, he had everything. He's primed for marriage, but he wasn't saying anything. I just sat him down on a regular day and said, bro, what's up? When are we getting married? So I guess this is what this friend has done. And V is of the opinion that you should let the man take the lead. Let him be the one to say, I want to go see your parents. Or let him be the one to want to know your friends, or want to know your parents, or want to know, that sort of involvement where, this is leading in the right direction. So what's your perspective on that? Should V's friend now, should she take the reins of the relationship, especially if she sees the man is not saying anything? Or are there ways to guide men, towards, getting to that destination?
Thank you for that one. I smile because, in my story, it was very similar. I met my wife. Yes, I liked her, but I wanted to get to know her. And I felt that I was still in the journey. I mean, we're going on some dates, restaurants, and hang out. So I felt I was still getting to know. Yeah, been to her house. I mean, I felt it was still early. And one day, I was at her house, we were talking. And then next she turns to me and said, "What do you want?"
I like that.
So I was wondering, what do I want? I said, "What do I say? What exactly?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What exactly?" I said, "You know." And I said, "I don't know." So I was I felt she was bold.
Yes.
And I said, yes. So what I didn't want to commit myself.
Okay.
I was interested, but I didn't want to. But at the same time,
were you guys still in talking stage at this time, or you were full blown seeing each other exclusively? You know, we have stages now in today's dating scene. we have step one where you meet the person, and then you have talking stage where you guys are just talking. You've not said anything. I like you. That's why I'm talking to you. I talk to you every day. You carry me along with your day. I'm getting to know your best food. I'm getting to know whether you like the AC or the fan on when you're sleeping. We're talking till 2 a.m. That's talking stage. Okay. And then at talking stage, either the guy or the girl, usually the guy, I prefer the guy, then leads the conversation to say, oh, we've been speaking for about 2 weeks now. So people have protracted talking stage that has lasted for months. It shouldn't be.
Okay,
normally,
stage, okay.
Yeah. So talking stage will last for about 2-3 weeks, typically maybe a month. And then if the guy is really interested, the lady, they get to say, okay, I really like you. I'd like us to be exclusive. Exclusive. So you are not doing this talking stage with any other person else. Okay. We are now getting to know ourselves, you know, for whatever reason, whether that is for marriage or stuff. So at what point did she bring up this conversation? Were you guys just talking casually, or you were in a committed relationship at the time?
Well, in our time, there was not like exclusive. Was that you're in or you're not in?
Okay.
So yes, my intention was clear that I like you. You know, then what our own journey is that you like someone, you want to date someone, and you start dating the person. Then when you want to get married, you ask them for marriage.
Okay.
So yes,
simpler times. We've made everything complicated.
Yeah. So now it's beats.
Yeah,
you know. So yes, we're dating. We're dating. I liked her. I told her I liked her, and we're dating. But I did not say I wanted to marry.
Okay.
That was, so I think linking to the question, they're dating.
Yes.
But he has not said marriage.
He hasn't said.
So I was conscious. I didn't want to say marriage because then it's quoted that you broke my heart. Okay. You promised me marriage. No, we're dating. So I wanted to be on that safe passage. But when she said, yes, what exactly, where are we kind of going? So I had to, then I had to rearrange myself. And I think that question accelerated
thought process.
Yes, because I could have just been on that journey for a longer time.
True, I agree.
If you're dating someone and you're so why should I just jump to the main thing? If, the main thing comes a lot of reasons, maybe financial, maybe
preparedness mentally.
Yes, mentally. Yes, so many things that you are waiting for something to snap. I think that call can be what to snap you up and say, do you want this lady or not? Because if she's asking this question, if you're not committing, that means that she's open. But if you don't want that, if you want to be, then I think that's what your exclusive means. Yeah. So if you want to really go ahead, then you have to come out and say it. Yes. So then, I have to say, okay, well, and of course, I want to marry you, and that's when that conversation started. Okay. So, but I was really intrigued. So I later asked, I said, that day, why did you ask me that kind of question? Mm-hmm. I wanted to know. So she told me, said, my pastor told me.
I see.
So don't let any guy just joining you or waste your time. If a guy is whisking to you,
so it's not out of place.
No.
So if you judge your relationship to be at a particular stage, and either party is
you
not
want to
saying
know.
anything, you should
See,
know.
I think this is communication.
Okay.
In your mind is saying, what am I doing? What are we doing? Speak to me. But he's not hearing.
Yes.
To him, everything's fine.
Everything is fine.
Oh, we'll see tomorrow. His mind is not even thinking about it.
Yes, true.
He's not even thinking that you need reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
Left to him, you know now.
You know.
You know now.
Meanwhile,
so
you need the words to be spoken. I need that sort of commitment.
Yeah. So if that's what's running in your mind and you are in that space, you need to let him know. Okay. You need to let him know.
So you don't think it is, I know you said when PWT did it, you thought of it as, that was bold. And, it was cool.
I was courageous.
But some people will feel like that's very forward, especially if maybe the man, because we expect traditionally, the man should be the one leading this question to say this. But for me as a lady to then come to now guide you to that point to say, when are you going to see my parents, for instance? So I may not come at you to say, when are we going to get married? I'll just be like, oh, we're having a dinner in my house. I'd like you to come see my parents. You already know what I'm, edging to it.
In relationship, there's some factors are coming. Your personal person. Never hide your personality. Don't hide who you are. Now, there's some people, even though they want to get into it, in their nature, it's not there. Naturally. So you don't force someone to act out of nature. Now, what she did for me by asking that question, snap something. She's bold. You understand? She's bold. She's confident. Yes. And that's the kind of person I want. I don't want someone that isn't, that's not my person. I wanted someone that knows who she is and can speak. So for her acting that way, I knew that, yes, this is a kind of person that I want. Because I'm someone that if you are calm, I can take you on a ride. True. So I also need someone that can caution me in that area. That say, no, you can't take someone on a ride. Yes. This one is a no-go zone. So be who you are. Yeah. If that's who you are, don't be shy. Let him know. It's better that you know the truth than be in denial.
True. I agree. Fantastic response, PGT. And I resonate with everything that you have said. Maybe because that was my own personal experience. I would not say I asked, but when I was dating my husband at the time, he had asked, he wanted things to be serious. I was not ready at the time mentally. So when I became ready, I just saw that he was just on cruise. He was just on, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? What's going on? Can we? And one day I just sat him down, matter of factly, and I was like, so where are we going? What? Because that's the kind of person I am. I'd like to know where I stand at every point in time. I don't like ambiguity. I don't like things, gray areas. I like to know where I stand. And I think that it's good, especially if the dating is now, going, because I have blocked every other person. You would not now come, and I would think we know where we are going, and meanwhile, that's not where it is in your head. So I totally resonate.
And one thing is safe to, as I said again, be who you are. For example, if I'm a guy that doesn't like a lady that is assertive and femme, and she's that kind of person, but she did not act it.
Yeah.
You understand?
It will cause a problem when she becomes.
Yes, she's calm, and that's the kind of person I want. Then that's what causes frictions when people get into marriage.
True.
So and if I was someone that I don't like upfront, to me, I feel is maybe she's challenging my authority.
Yes.
Or she's questioning I'm the man. I'm the one that is to, dictate the pace. Now, yes. and she is an affirmative person. When
she failed to do that.
If she failed to do that, I would think she's the kind of person I want.
Yes, meanwhile she isn't.
Well, she's not. Yes. Then, but later you not get into marriage, you're not acting as your true self.
You say your true colors are coming.
Thank you. True colors.
Okay. So be true to yourself.
Be true to yourself.
Don't bend. If you're an assertive person, if you're not the kind of person that would ask that,
let him know.
Let it be out. I think we're doing so well for the relationship questions, and I just want to keep so we're done with the relationship questions and we can go to other aspects. So child of God, that's the name of this person.
So for the relationship, we're continuing at our couples.
Our couples dinner
on 25th.
Oh yes.
Of this month on Saturday.
Okay.
So
look forward to it.
Yeah. So
okay.
Book the date.
Book the dates. Yes. Couples dinner 25th. Yes.
We'll continue conversation.
Yeah. The truth and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Okay. So this person says her name is Child of God. Okay. We are all children of God. Says my fiance and I got married. So her husband and her got married. Only traditional. Is the traditional wedding alone grounds for having sex? And I'll just, by extension, put this to, let's say, couples that have had their court's wedding registry done. If we've done that, you've met my parents, you've done the traditional rites, paid the bride price and all those things. But due to whatever reasons, the white wedding, the church wedding is a few months away. If we have sex, are we okay? Is it a sin at that particular point in time?
Okay. It's like this. There are different type of weddings. Like if you go to the court, they will ask you, what type of wedding do you want to do? Do you want to do a court wedding or do you want to do a church wedding? If you say you want to do a church wedding, you still do fill form and do all that. You still do some stages, but they'll reserve the signing for the church. Okay. That means, yes, you've done, so for that one, you do your engagement, do everything, but you do final signing in the church. Then there's the one that you can marry in court. So you sign it in court, then you do what they call a blessing in church. Oh. It can be a service, but you've already gotten married in the court. Okay. So you just come to church, because you just want to do ceremony. Your certificate will read the date of the court, not the church. Then, but for the church one, you've gone to court, you won't sign in the end document. Your certificate will be signed in church. Oh, okay. So now, you are the one that knows the one you're doing. You understand? If it's a court one you're doing, you sign legally. You're married already. Because you say the vows. I leave this and I'm joined to you. You say the vows there. And you say kiss the bride. So if you from there, you can go to your house and do you understand? If it's a court, if it's a church one, you wait till you do it in church. Now, if you're a traditional person, which means that you're neither going to go to church, nor are you going to court. But you're going to get married, and your marriage is your traditional marriage between parents. Do you understand? There's not going to be any other. So that is your wedding, which is they call it the customary one, which is recognized also. So it depends on what stage is yours. For me, we went to court like a month before. We had traditional, then we had week after. So it wasn't done all at once. We now had the wedding. You understand? But we knew that the wedding was the main. So until we did the wedding, in our mind, we're married. When we went to the court, she went to her house, I went to my own. She didn't follow me home. When we did the engagement, did all the carry yam, did everything, we wore the same thing together, did all the things. From that venue, she went home, I went home. So it depends on which one you're doing. So now trying to put legitimacy
On
on
a type of marriage.
a type of marriage. It's in your mind, which means that you are the one that knows the truth. You know your journey. You know if let me put it this way. Whenever you can have sex with your spouse and not be ashamed, that's the time.
Okay.
Which means that if you have sex before your wedding day and you don't want people to know, you've sinned.
Okay. I think that's very good to qualify it.
Yes.
When you can have sex without feeling ashamed, without hiding it,
yes.
Right? Okay. I think that's pretty clear. Because people would say the traditional marriage rights, right, the customary one, is what's native to us as Nigerians. Yes. That the church wedding was a borrowed culture. And even some people argue that if you do traditional, you do white, you do court, you are just basically replicating the same thing. Because if I go to the court and have my courts, do all that in court, and I never go ahead to pay my dowry or go to church to have the joining, that person legally is my husband, right? But I think looking at it from the perspective of the church, or looking at it from the perspective of Christianity, like you have said, the moment if you go to court in your mind, you said you are the one that knows what you are doing. You're the one that knows it. So if you go to court and from court you have your church wedding slated maybe a couple of months back, but you don't want anyone to know. Probably you're already living together. You've already moved in, but you will come in separate cars. Then you should know that. Then you should know that you have sinned, right? Yes. Because it's that guilt that comes with, sin. All right. Thank you so much, PGT. I think we're rounding up on the relationship questions and questions around marriage. So this question is from. Okay, this is not really a relationship question. It's more about life in general. And I think it's from a lady. She says her name is Real. Why do men always sexualize me? They never take me seriously. So, there are some ladies that are very attractive. And I have seen this firsthand happen even in the corporate world, where someone is really beautiful, very attractive, and unconsciously, people don't take them seriously. They feel all they are good for is their beautiful face. There's no way this one can be intelligent. She just, God has blessed, the way God blessed her is for her beauty. So her beauty will keep on opening, ways for her. However, this person wants more responsibility. This person wants to speak and others will listen. But people, especially men, cannot just get past the fact that this person is very attractive. And, they just feel like, there's not much to you. All of your beauty is all that there is to you. Right. So how does such a person begin to affirm their place to say, I am much more than what I look like? Yes, I may be the most attractive woman in the room, but you have to take me seriously. I want more responsibility. I want to do more. I am more. Look past my beauty to give me more. But I see that typically there's a bias. I think for the whites, they say blondies. Blondies, people that are blonde, that they are dummies, right? That's something that's out there. To say, oh, you never take a blondie because they just look so pretty and, stainless and fragile, right? So how can I make people see past my physical beauty, no matter how alluring that is, to give me more responsibility and take me more seriously?
The first thing I'll say is that when you say someone is attractive, what does that really, really mean? Being attractive has to do with sexual appearance. When you say, okay, let me just fast track. You mentioned blondes. They say blondes are, they're dull. How many blondes are truly blonde? Very, very few. Most of the people that they say are blonde, their hair are dyed. So which means that they make extra effort in the aspect of their beauty. And when you see and say they look so well, You understand?
Together, the fragile.
All those that fragile. No. So all of that fragile appearance is invested on.
Yes.
Which means that the lady makes sure that when she goes out, her eyelash is done, her lipstick is there, her nails are on point, the way she talks, the way she sits, the way she moves, everything is all like, all set. It means that she has spent time in building that aspect of herself. Generally, any lady you say, oh, this girl is so attractive, so beautiful, so she's just so spotless. She has invested in that area. Now, whatever you invest on is what will shine the more.
I agree.
So, if she invests in intellectuals, invests in knowledge, invests in information, invests in the things she's desiring, so-called desiring, she invests there. That's what will pop out. And at that point when it's intellectual discussions, they won't see the beauty. They will see the value, the idea, and the things she's saying. But if she has spent all her time in, the shoes she wears, the skirt she wears, the way she dresses, and they say, let me just use for a bank, for example. Just use it for a bank, for example. Maybe a bank, and the bank is trying to raise money, and they need people to just go out and just go meet the clients. You understand? So if it's the lady, this one, for to stand up, this one, she can't do anything. Please just sit down here. We know you can't go. You can't. You don't have it. Mm-hmm. Why? Because that's what she has invested in.
Okay.
So I'll say to such a person, they will take you seriously when you begin to offer that area of yourself.
What if people cannot just get, so there are some ladies that are very, for lack of a better word, very sexy, irrespective of what they do or they don't do. And people cannot just get to see. So before you say, okay, let me even be at the table where I'm speaking about my ideas, you're not even there because they feel like all you're good for is just to be like a portrait or a wallpaper kind of thing.
No, for me, I disagree. I disagree that there's a lady that is so sexy. No. There's that same lady. If she changes what she's wearing, she won't look that sexy anymore. I guarantee you. You see, there are things.
So should women?
She won't look that sexy anymore.
So are you saying the person now should sort of downplay on her physical attributes so they can see beyond that? What if I'm just a very well put together, every time it's not costing me anything, I would always show up and show out. I'm always well put together.
See, I agree about that. You see, what exactly do you want? It's what you want that matters. Now, a lady, she knows she has nice height. She has long legs. She has, nice shape.
Yeah.
Now, if our focus in our dressing, in our appearance, is that why waste these beautiful legs? So she wears a skirt and there's this long line that comes up so that her legs can be seen. She has nice curves. So why wear something that will cover the curves? I need to wear something that is tight and will show my shape. So you know something? So you are flaunting what you have. And what you have, yes, is beauty, is sexy. And it's what you put forward that people will respond to. You don't have to be sexy to look beautiful. You can actually see I'm sure I guarantee the other ladies are hot. But what they wear does not reveal that hotness.
As much.
You understand? So when you see them, that won't come to you. It's like a lady that has big bulbs and she wears, you must, so what you sell, you're marketing something. And you see, you can't eat your cake and have it.
True.
You understand that? You can't walk past a colleague or your boss and they must look and say, man. and you're not complaining that they don't take it seriously. Or that. So you have to choose one.
Choose. I agree. I agree. Because you are seen that way and you need another narrative, you want another goal.
Yeah.
Whether or not you like it, since that is the projection already, you have to downplay on that for you to project something else.
If you want to be professional, there are smart dresses that ladies wear. That made the comment, is she a bank MD or is she a CEO? She just comes in and she just looks, this one is a,
this one's here for business.
Yeah, this one's for business. Smart, beautiful, everything, nice. But you must look the part of what you want.
True. I agree. So, V, you have your answer. You have to decide what you want ultimately. No one is saying you have to look shabby, you have to downplay on your natural assets, but there's a way to look professional. There's a way to be put together and be taken seriously. Yeah. And then also invest in the areas of things where you want to be able to speak about, where if it's intellectual things about your work that you want to be taken seriously on, then invest in those things. Yeah. And when you begin to look that part and you speak, people would recognize you for more than your beauty.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, PGT. Okay. I think this is the last. When I saw this question, I didn't know what to say. I was like, am I going to ask this question really? But I'm going to ask it because this is Let's Talk and we ask all the questions, right? This person just said, I'm a sex addict. I'm a sex addict.
Okay.
Help.
Okay.
Help. She didn't say if she was a lady or she didn't say if it was female or male. Didn't say if they were married or not. But the addiction was just so pressing. All the person could say was, I'm a sex addict. Help. Okay.
When it comes to sex and sexual things, it builds up. It builds up. And it thrives in an environment. If what you see, what you talk about, are all sex related, then it will be difficult to come out of it. You meet some people, before you talk 1, 2, 3 things, they make their jokes is sexual jokes. Or all around in their phones, in their documents are, very skin-looking pictures. So those are the things that set you in tune and set you in the mood. So when you open your phone and your phone is showing
the wallpaper is a nude lady.
Yes, in your room,
you have posters.
So if you wake up, that's what you see. If so it sets
probably
you,
even have friends that's when you guys gather, that's basically what you're talking about.
So if that's what you're surrounded with,
okay,
then that's a big problem. But the moment you start to remove such things in your environment, then you find that you're more free. That's on the physical aspect. Then, if peradventure you have already been in it for a long time, then there's what we call spirit of immorality, which follows those kind of acts. So it's possible that the person already has a spirit of immorality, which means that if it's a guy or a girl, which also applies to the last question we spoke about, which means if you have a contact with such spirits, if you're a lady, a guy meets you, it's just small conversation, his mind just think of sex. And he can't export, that's what drops in his mind. Or a guy, you meet a lady and just sees you sexy, and sex just drops in the environment. So it means that the person is carrying a spirit of immorality. That spirit is what takes accelerates that environment. So the guy might feel I'm a very fast guy. No, there's a spirit of immorality working in his life. He might a lady just wants to. There's a spirit of immorality. So in such a case, you need prayers. I think I've met. There's a lady that came to me and said she has a problem. So what's the problem? She says, it's only married men that wants to date her. I said, only married men. He said, and she meets a lot of people, but they want
to die on her
yes,
matter, married men.
Yes. If the guy, no matter how, if the guy is not married, the guy is not interested in her. But if the guy is married, he's interested in her. Now, she's not discovered that the one she too is not interested in are same married. So even she meets a guy, the guy is not married, good looking, has a nice car, she's just not interested. But if she meets a guy, even without knowing that he's married,
that's the one she'd be interested.
Do you understand? Among them, if she meets 3 guys and 2 are married, 1 is single, and she just mixes them, is the one that is single, she won't just like the guy. But the one that is married, so I asked her experience, I said, is a spirit. So such things, that is spiritual, which requires prayers, God to deliver you from that.
So first of all, declutter your mind, declutter everything, music, pictures, friends, everything that encourages that sort of sexual environment around you, and then subject yourselves to prayer and ask the Holy Spirit to deliver you. All right, thank you. So I hope he has gotten the help that he needs. Yes. So there's another. So. Yes, there's another question here. The last would be taken for the relationship marriage category. She says, Agatha, not my real name, so don't look at any Agatha you know.
Agatha, you're safe. You're safe.
Agatha, you're safe. This is a safe space. Is there anything like generational covenants? No man or woman, uncles, aunties, and cousins has ever been married in my family. It's been a case of having children outside of wedlock or no marriage at all. Someone told me to have deliverance done, but I don't believe in these things. I'm 29 years and now my fiance is insisting that I get pregnant before we get married. That I would get married as soon as I confirm that I am pregnant. I know it is not biblical and just seems like what my friends have been telling me might be true. If they do exist, how do I break free from it?
Okay. Covenants are true and covenants are real. And if the covenant in a family, it will be seen by patterns happening to uncles, aunties, brothers, and all that. And covenants, when we say covenant, the real interpretation is that there is a spirit, just like I said earlier about a moral spirit. There's a spirit assigned for that purpose. So it's not that maybe it just happens. There is a spirit that makes sure that even if they want to get married, he distorts them getting married. He makes sure that even the person wants to marry, the moment they go into sex and having that area, make sure they don't get into marriage. So there is a spirit. So, and that's why, even though she is aware, believing or not, suddenly her spouse is now saying, let's get pregnant first. Before. So even the spouse does not know why. But there's a spirit that just suddenly brings that up. So when you understand that there's a spirit, a personality assigned to that,
to enforce that,
to enforce that, then you need a spiritual backing, a spiritual force to break such agreement on your own life and be free. So you, first of all, know that what you're going through is real. It's no joke. And if you want your own case to be different from others, then you need to make deliberate steps. Number one, which also goes for every other aspect when it comes to like covenants or curses, is that the moment you know what they want you to do or what they don't want you to do, it becomes your target. they want me to have a child without getting married, I will not go into any sexual relationship before marriage. Make it an agreement.
Okay.
And you stand by it. The moment you do that, it's called rebelling against the Spirit. The Bible says, to whom you obey becomes your master. So, which means that if the Spirit is to make sure you go into sex before marriage, and you say no, it means that Spirit is not your master.
Yes.
He will come again, have sex before marriage, say no. Have sex before marriage, say no. The moment you are consistent, then that authority breaks.
Fantastic.
In either in relationship, in marriage, in whatever it is, if in your home, in your family, you find that everyone get married, the wives or the husband will go back to their parents' house. The moment you are getting to marriage, kneel down with your husband and make an agreement. I will not leave this house to my parents' house. Never. If you push me out, I'll sleep at the door. I will never spend a night in my mother's house or my father's house. The moment you have made that decision, you have broken the backbone of that spirit. That covenant is broken. You don't need deliverance, falling down and pushing you. It's your decisions and what you have chosen to do.
Yes. And whoever the Son of Man sets free
is free indeed.
So keep professing. And I think a lot of things, I think what you said is really fantastic and profound. A lot of us have to do lots of introspection into our families. I remember there was one of the sermons you preached about patterns and recognizing patterns. You have to look, is there a trend, a recurring trend, generation after generation in my family? This is not just for Agatha now, but for all of us.
Yeah.
And look at it and then say, my case is different.
Yes.
And begin to absolve yourself and separate yourself from such
my story will be
covenants.
different.
So you don't need to go for any 7 days deliverance session. You have to establish a covenant that is contrary to that existing covenant, and then begin to decree and establish it. Right?
Correct.
Preach
it.
I'm not PGT. Thank you so much, PGT, for that. So move to the business career side of things now. Daughter of Zion, she says, "What's this?" Okay, no. Okay. What are the advisory steps you'd give for growth when you are in an organization where the salary is not commensurate with the value provided the person said at all? So I'm working in a place and I am being paid way below what I should be paid. And for some reason, that's what I have for now. So I am there. And there is a direct linkage between reward and motivation, right? So I am feeling demotivated and I don't even know how to grow here because what I'm being paid, the value for my service is not even commensurate. What steps would you give for growth for me to be able to grow in that organization or seek opportunities elsewhere?
When it comes to career and business, and you're also a Christian, always remember that there's no accident when it comes to God. Everywhere you are now is linked to your next place. And how you maximize or grab what is available for you to learn now determines where you're going to. When I was young, I was, from during holidays we work. And one of my first work that I worked was to be a storekeeper. So I used to be a storekeeper, fill cards and all that. And then I was young, they're carrying goods. I'll join them and carry the goods, arrange, So I learned how to arrange cartons and it will not fall. So I understood what it meant by bin cards. So I understood what it meant by taking stock, counting and recording it. I learned that. Was that going to be my work? No. But that was what was in front of me at that point in time. So that went away. So I was working somewhere again, and somehow they had problem with with their sales team. The sales team refused. Okay, the company requested for the names and addresses or details of their custom clients. So they refused. Said, is my client, not your client. So they refused, and the company just sacked all of them. So they had a group agreement. All of them agreed. Don't give them that information. So the company sacked everyone. So it meant that they sacked everyone, and they brought in a salesman from out of state, and he doesn't know anywhere in Lagos, and they employed new people. So because he was a salesman, he doesn't know Lagos. All they just needed someone to be a driver, and I could drive. So, and I offered that I would drive, just call the place. So I was the driver, the professional salesman, and the people he was training. They're going to Mushi. I know where Mushi is. I'll take them, drive them there. I'll come down with them. I've never done sales before. I don't know how it's done, but I'll drive them. So I'll work with them. The salesman, it means he gets there. That's his field. He doesn't need to know you. He's gifted. So he does the sales something. They say they want to go to Agege. I'll carry them, take them to Agege. So I work with this guy, and I learned what it means to just walk into a store and feel the air of the place, and suddenly just become like someone familiar with them. I learned it firsthand. Was I going to be a salesman? I didn't know about that. So, but unknown to me, all these stages, I was picking something that was going to be unique.
Where you're headed.
Where I was going to. So when I eventually went to school, graduated, had worked in an organization, and suddenly an opportunity opened that was way steps above me. But I had vast experiences in different aspects where when
all that is what you need for that
role.
Okay.
Yes. So when they tried me out, when I got to that seat, I could receive bin cards, stock cards, and analyze it because I worked there before. So, and I could detect when there's error because I know what we do then, and I know what. And I could understand. I could enter a place. I know by sight the quantity of stock that is there without actually doing one-on-one count because I'd worked that before. I understood what goes in the market because I've been a salesman before. So even though I wasn't doing any of all those things, but when I sit down and there's a meeting and the stock man is talking about raw materials, they're talking about all these things, I could easily put them together. I understood what sales, so it was just preparing me for somewhere. Yes. I believe sometimes when you get to an office whereby they try to use you like jack of all trade, it's actually a blessing for you.
I agree.
Because you might never have an opportunity to learn all those things if you were somewhere else. Because you could be somewhere else. I know some organizations where if you are employed as a storeman, you can be a storeman for 20 years. They don't need you. They have promotions there, but you will never move out of that store knowledge to experience something else. Yeah. But you're in a smaller place, they might think that they are using you and not paying you much. Yeah. But because they don't want to pay, they don't want to employ 5 people to do 5 different jobs. Yeah. They want to hoard. So they'll make you do the 5 jobs.
Yes.
By doing that, you are learning different skills.
I agree.
So embrace it for that time. It will be very soon an asset that you have that you never knew you were gaining.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So this really resonates with me, right? I think when I started my career, right out of school, I got a job, in one of the banks. I had not gone for youth service or anything. So in their minds, good. This small fry. What do you want to do? And they made me work. Oh, God, I worked. I was put in customer service, so in the biggest branch in Port Harcourt, right? So like Once we open our doors in the morning, influx of customers. There were 2 ladies who were supposed to be working with me. One of them was she was pregnant near delivery. The other, she had issues with her health, so she was in and out. And there was a day I was the only one. There was something called Saturday banking. I was a customer service. Nothing concerned me with cash. And my BM was like, oh, you had to come and do cash and bullion pickup. And I learned how to. And by the time I went into banking proper, like as a professional staff, people did not believe I was just an ET, like that's the base level. They did not believe I was entry level because my lingo, the things I was saying, I was sounding like I had been in the system for years. So it was very, very easy for them to recognize me. And when I became a professional staff, I was not in customer service. I was not in operations, anything operations. I was in product management. But I had to develop a product that had to do with something like that. And they were like, oh, let's call the head of. I was like, what's it? And I just started dishing out. In retrospect, I saw that God was preparing me for that place. So like PGT has said, where you are right now is tied to your next level. Maximize it. It might look like you are being overexerted. It might look like you're being overworked. But look at it again from another perspective. You're gathering so much. You're doing more than you should do. But what you're learning is yours. Yeah. They cannot take it away from you. And it's the sum of all these things would make you a better person. So like PGT had said, for the time, embrace it and learn as much as you can. I think that's very profound and I resonate with it totally. Okay, so this is about, person said her name is someone or his name is someone. That's fine. It's Let's Talk, so you can be anything you want to be. So someone says that is first fruit offering to be paid at the beginning of every year or only when I get my first salary from a new job or business?
Okay. First fruits means that it's your first harvest. You know, like when the farmers, they plant, and when it's time to harvest, you know, in the East, there's something they call
New Yam Festival.
New Yam. Yeah. So it's from that principle. And in fact, that first one, they do a ceremony whereby the yam is, is given. So if, for example, you're on maybe 100,000 and you're promoted and you move to maybe 200,000. So that 100,000 is a new increase. It's like a new fruit. Like something first. And so that's what God asks for. So it can come either in the beginning of a year, it can come in the middle of the year, it can come at any time. But you are able to recognize that this is the first time. Yes. It's a new blessing. And that you sow that, as a first blessing. Okay. So that's what it is. So it can come at any time of the year, during any season. Okay,
but the one for the beginning of the year, that is sacrosanct.
Reason why?
So I have not been promoted or I have not gotten there's no growth or increase. It's just the beginning of the year. And this is my first salary for the year.
For the year. So that means that maybe your income is tied to a year span.
Yes.
So now for this year, in that aspect, yes, this is my first income.
Yes.
So on that basis, this is my first income this year. So I sow it because it's my first income this year. This is my first income in this business. You understand what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with a year. I sow it. Okay. This is the first gift I'm receiving. You understand? I've never received a gift in this area before. This is the first gift I'm receiving. I sow it. So it's not like left, right, something. So you are the one that is to recognize what is first to you.
Yes, I think that's great. So it's not like regimented. It's not okay. Once you've done the beginning of the year, even if you experience other newness or other increases at the beginning of the year, as far as I have paid my first fruits for the year at the beginning of the year, then I'm fine. So it is what is first for you It could be a first line of business. You've been in business before, but this is the first from this line of business. It could be you got promoted and this is my first in this level. So what is first to you? You saw that as a seed.
I can give an example, like a student. A student goes for what do you call it? Internship, get a job, and the first time he or she was ever paid. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? This is my first salary. Yours is a first fruit. Okay. Or someone has a child, you're pregnant, you have a child, and someone comes and gives your child money. You understand? That's why I find that on doing the ceremony of naming, the offering they give, they pack it together and give to the mother for the child. You understand? So that is the first financial blessing that the child is receiving. So that's the child's first fruit given to the mother. It becomes your first earning. So as which way significant to you, you must be able to recognize
it. Okay, quickly as we round up this week's episode of Let's Talk. Lengthy question from Anonymous. I am a student running a business. I have traveled during one of our breaks, leaving my business for my friend to help me run. Before then, my business was growing slowly, but at least I can keep track of it. I paid my tithe on a weekly basis after going to the market to restock. But when I came back from my trip, I realized that my business had gone down very badly. This is a friend I trust so much, so I know that my money is safe with her. But I believe that there must have been a miscalculation when attending to customers or something. But I know that she would not steal my money. I now have to pause my tithe.
The audience are laughing.
I now have to pause my tithe while I'm still putting some money into the business. I felt the need to work hard and boost my business, then resume tithing fully. So tithing is on hold because business is not really good, so that she can, plow back all of the revenue from the business back into the business. My question is, did I make the right decision, or should I resume tithing with immediate effects, even though my business is at its peak of dying?
Okay. One thing I want to say is that we should not look at tithes as a burden. Tithe is a covenant, an agreement between you and God, and is also the means of establishing partnership with God, which means that we are co-owners of this business. If I have shares in your company, you pay me, become a shareholder, and which means that's why if you call for a board meeting, I'll be there. I'll leave whatever I'm doing because I have stake there. And whatever you complain about that the business is going through becomes my problem also, because we're shareholders. Same thing when it comes to when you engage God in tithing with your business. It means that He has a stake in that business. Why do you sometimes give people shares in your business? Because you believe that they have something to offer, and that if they have something at stake, they will give their best for it. Same thing. So if God is your partner and He has stake, whatever He has to do for the business to kick off, He will make it kick off. So when you kick him out of, you're no longer a shareholder. That means that, don't worry, I can build it by myself. I can do it. I can make a way out. So that means that it's left for you. So I advise this person that go back. If you were tithing before and it was working for you, never stop what works for you. Go back to your tithing. And sometimes in business, your own passion, your own way, the way you manage your business is different from the next person. And favor differs.
True, I agree.
Favor differs. So something can be in your hand and flourish. It doesn't mean that it's flourish in the hand of everyone. So it's what you carry. And that's what you should, and it's also your covenant on your business. So go back to what was working before. And there will be a season of restoration. The business will bounce back again. But go back and to tighten and do what you do best.
Yeah. So Anonymous, go back to tithing with immediate effect, just the way you said it. Just to piggyback on what you just said. So I've heard certain theories while we wrap up. For people who have defaulted in tithing, there's a school of thought that says you go and calculate all the defaults. It's like a loan that you're owing and you've had some months and now there are penalties. Go and calculate how the months that you've missed, the amounts that you missed, and then cumulatively bring them to make up for the time that you did not pay. So I want to know what's your perspective on that. Should I fell off. I stopped tithing for whatever reason, and now I've heard this and I feel like, you know what, I'm going to go back to it again. I'm going to keep on tithing. Do I have to calculate for the years, the months that I missed and bring all of that back to God? Or do I just start and say, Lord, I'm renewing this covenant with you right now and I'm going to be faithful from here henceforth?
Tithing is a big topic and it's very controversial. And for me as a person, I believe that serving God is not a legalistic relationship. It's a father and son relationship. And it's a friendship. It's an intimate relationship. So it means that if my son maybe misses some payments of his rent or maybe money I give to him and he misses, and now realize that had some issues, will I say until your debt is paid back, you will not be restored? That's the first thing I'll ask myself. And I don't want us to always lock ourselves in that direction where God loves you. His relationship with you is not just financial. It's not based on the money you owe him or the one you broke. It's from the heart. He knows your condition. He knows what's going on. Just pick up from where you are and move on. If you desire that you want to do more, you understand? Decide what you want to do more. You don't have to lock it on 10%. You can give to God as you desire. I know people that can't actually phantom or lock their giving to tithing. But what they give in value to what they earn sometimes is higher than the one that pays the tithe in a regular basis. I know people that have built churches. The value of the church building, equipment, everything, one man. And the man might not be a day-to-day, morning, month-to-month giving of tithe. But the next person you accumulate is tithe in the same earning. Yeah. So, and you see God bless people in different ways. And that's why sometimes when we lock some things, they say, if you don't give tithe, you will not prosper. When people can now see someone that is not giving tithe and is prospering, do you understand? Then they are leading to have an explanation. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So it simply means the idea of tithe is that have God's business at heart. The purpose of tithe is that the house of God does not lack. That is the purpose. The moment you are concerned and interested with God's own interests, in whatever form it is tithing. You're in partnership with God. So your tithe can be 15, 30, 50, depending on as it goes. It can be, my tithe is one major big at once. Just as your conscience and your heart is speaking to you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, PGT, with that very, very explicit case scenario. Many people think God is, fixed, rigid. Like you said, our relationship with him is not legalistic, right? Think of him as a loving father and, deal with him according to that. So thank you so much, PGT, for gracing us today on Let's Talk. It was an amazing, amazing session. Thank you for allowing us to lean on your wealth of wisdom, wealth of understanding and knowledge over the years, and, balance it appropriately with the word of God without any judgment. We truly appreciate you for coming today. With that, we have come to the end of Let's Talk for this episode. Remember, it is airing every Thursday at 7 p.m. at RCCG, the New House, on Instagram and YouTube. You can, catch a replay of previous episodes. And trust me, there's one thing I assure you would definitely learn something. You see something else from another perspective. People think that situations are peculiar to them. But by the time you see questions like, you're like, oh, I'm actually going through that. It's not just me. Oh, really? There's somebody else. You're able to connect and, you have the answers resonate with you. We do hope that you've had answers to your questions. Remember to send your questions ahead of next week's episode, where we'll have our guest again next week. So till then, see you and God bless.